Welcome to TYT Sports Rotowire. I'm Heather Ankeny with Chris Liss, Ben Mankiewicz. This is it for beating the book, right? Heading into the last week here.
Yeah, we're not
what are the standings right now?
Yeah, I didn't have a good week.
You didn't?
No, I think my $100 to Chris is going to get it. We had that other $20 thing, but I don't think we're ever going to figure out what that was. So
it's not worth $20.
It's not worth to figure it out, right? Right? I mean, I might save $20 on this, but it's going to take me 38 minutes minimum to figure out what the hell it is.
This is a good preview of our gambling show. This is going to be the kind of thing.
Oh yeah, what is your gambling show that you guys are going to be doing?
We're hoping to start that in after the football season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in January.
So tune in for that because that's going to be a lot of fun.
I guess the moral
Win
is
a lot of
some
money.
bets that are not even worth figuring out who won.
All right, so I'm now 38, 36, and 1 on the season, 2 and 3 for the week. The Buccaneers with a backdoor cover. The only really good bet there was the Vikings covering easily and even having a field goal attempt, a really long one, to win the game there. Eagles, Rams, Browns. Wrong. Those are big losses. Not close.
You know, I also took the Rams in my pool, and as soon as that game was over on Thursday night, I thought, God, I am such an idiot for doing that. That was a stupid pick. And
Why?
No offense to you, but it was a stupid pick, and I made it also. It was falling for that, like, well, you know, I'm going to be super crafty. Like, the square guy's going to just think, 11-3, I'm going to take the Cardinals. Right. But that's like the straw man square guy. The regular square guy's like, the Rams just won 76-0 in the last 2 weeks.
That's right. And
so it was like, you know, the reverse.
No, they out-sophisticated us. Yeah. Right? They did. They were smarter. Once again, they were smarter than we were. It was a bad pick. They looked, you know, that it's the NFL, and unless you have an elite offense, a really good defense is going to play the game. And what's crazy to me is you look at the overall stats of the Cardinals defense, and they're like 17th overall. Nonsense. That's one of the 3 best defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, it's definitely a solid defense against a bad offense.
Against a bad offense, it'll look great.
And 4.5 was like 15.
I got 3.5, but whatever. It didn't matter. The Rams, it was the wrong bet, and the Eagles were the wrong bet, and obviously the Browns were the wrong bet.
But you did well this week, Chris, it looks like.
Oh, I had a good week.
Yeah.
I know. I had a good week. I had a good week here. I was 7-8 overall. I just happened to be very good at these. And the Chiefs, that was money in the bank. I knew the Raiders. We saw how the Raiders show up after a win. They did it against the Rams. They repeated that. The Giants, I got a little lucky when RG3, I guess, fumbled. I didn't really see the replay because I already switched the channel.
You got lucky, but there was massive second-half dominance in that game.
And Odell Beckham is just
he's a monster.
Yeah. And I'm very excited as a Giants fan, despite the horrific season they've had. The Bucs, I think you call that a backdoor cover. It was, but
you knew that was. That's what you were betting on.
But it was a heroic. We cannot underestimate the heroic run by Josh McCown on third down, a goal from the 16. Let me tell you something. Most teams, they do a conservative little check down. They get tackled at the 8. They kick the field goal. They're like, we need 2 scores anyway. And
That's right.
Damn it.
That doesn't help me, right?
It only happens when you have the. This usually only happens when you have the underdog. They actually score the touchdown. I mean, when you have the favorite, they actually score the touchdown to cover. So that was awesome. And I can't remember who the last one. Oh. Yeah, the Bills, obviously. That was good. And the Dolphins actually were down 14-13 at half, despite having a blocked field goal go the other way for a touchdown, despite having an interception return 50 yards, and despite having a perfectly thrown pass for a touchdown dropped, and then they had to settle for a long field goal. I don't know what happened in the second half.
The Patriots patrioted up.
The wheels just fell off. Yeah, the Patriots are at home. So, okay.
So basically going into this week, both of you guys need to go, both of you need to win a lot.
No. He's got.
You have to win a lot.
Chris needs to win twice. His magic number is 2.
I need to run out the clock.
His magic number is 2.
Okay.
I need to run out the clock. I need to not throw any interceptions or fumble, no butt fumbles, stuff like that.
I'm 4 games behind going into this week, but I believe I've strategized.
Did you?
I think I have. I think I'm opposite him in 3 games.
Okay.
Okay, good.
So let's see.
What do you got?
How do you know? Did you just look at my
now I've looked.
Yeah, that's right.
Now.
You wrote them down.
Well, my picks are already in.
They're already in.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's very lucky that you are opposite me. Okay, you got a fighting chance.
All right, who wants to start?
I'm changing my picks to all of Ben's picks. I think Ben's gonna have a great week. I'll start.
Okay.
All right, you ready? These picks are gonna go at least 1-4, and it should be good enough. All right. So knock on wood. All right, so Cincinnati, and I got to keep looking up. I looked this up before the segment. Now it's spaced already. It's Tuesday morning, and I don't know who the hell anyone's playing.
Cincinnati's Denver Monday night.
Home against Denver, okay?
Monday Night Football.
I just like Cincinnati playing well at home. It's a big game. It's against a good team. It's a good test. It's going to be probably cold out. It could be weather conditions. I like them getting more than a field goal at home. So that's it.
I felt like you were going to take Cincinnati. and I can't take Denver in that game.
Right.
It's too clear. That's Cincinnati is the right bet in every way in that game.
Okay, so you weren't, even though it would help you to go against me.
I can't do it. Yeah, that's right.
Can't do it. That's principled. And then I took Arizona at home against Seattle. Seattle's laying big points.
Oh,
8 points at Arizona. And look, I mean, they were lucky to cover that, to push against the Niners last week. I mean, that was garbage, that horrible roughing the passer call. Seattle's a good team, obviously, but Arizona's going to show up for this game.
They are.
They don't want Seattle to win the division and get home field. They're going to show up. And unless Seattle's so much better than them, 8 at home, that's just crazy. 8 on the road, that's 14 at home.
I agree.
Was Arizona the worst team in the league suddenly? I don't care who's quarterback.
I agree. I'm picking Seattle in that game because I thought that one's got a better chance of covering, that maybe the Arizona offense just won't be able to score.
They might not.
Yeah.
But it might be like 9-0. You know, well, that would be good enough for you. 7-0. 7-0. Okay. The next one is MIA, which stands for missing in action when they don't cover. Stands for Miami when they do. They're home against Minnesota. I think Minnesota is just not very good. Their D is decent, but I think Miami is a team that's better than they've shown the last couple of weeks. And at home, they'll flex their muscles against Teddy Bridgewater. They're going to get after him. They're going to sack him. They're going to win easily. After I'd made this pick before watching the Monday night game, so I shudder to think that I did this, but I'm going to stick with it. Chicago, 6.5 at home against Detroit. They actually showed up against Detroit for the first half.
I think they're up. They're at 7 right now on our.
Okay, hopefully it goes to 12 or 13. Jay Cutler truly has checked out.
I don't think he's checked out.
I think he's checked out.
Really?
Yeah.
He checked out in 2010.
I think he checked out in 2010, but I thought he checked back in. Even his post game
with a minute left in the fourth quarter. So hopefully,
just enough to completely.
Maybe
screw
he
me
has
over.
Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, he has Alshon Jeffrey, or he's I don't know what kind of reverse teaser he's doing. All right, and then finally, I like Atlanta. I like Atlanta in New Orleans getting 6.5. I just think those teams are roughly equal, and they really showed up in Green Bay. I mean, how about Atlanta and Green Bay a couple weeks ago, where they really gave them a game in the end.
And they hung in there with the Steelers too.
With no Julio Jones, their best player, and Julio
yeah.
Jones should be back this week. I don't see New Orleans stopping them. I think Matt Ryan's a good quarterback. I think this is going to be a close game. I'll take the points.
Yeah, so I just these picks do not reflect what I believe in. These picks reflect an effort to win. I took.
You really don't believe in these?
The only pick that I took I took Minnesota getting the 6.5 against Miami. I think if I have to bet that game, I wouldn't. But I thought Chris might pick Miami. I have a theory on 7-7 teams, and it'll show up twice here. It really depends on how you got to where you are at 7-7. And the Dolphins they were feeling really good for most of the year, and now they have no shot essentially to make the playoffs. So I think they might check out, and the Vikings on the other way sort of feel good about themselves, and and Bridgewater's getting better. I don't love this game, but my theory is that the Dolphins might go through the motions in this game, and if you're getting 6.5, you might sneak in. Dolphins going to win, you could still cover. So I like that. The other 7-7 team that I'm looking to rebound is that I feel like the Niners, who have completely checked out, but essentially now there's no chance for the playoffs, and a weight has been lifted from their shoulders. And then you also get a San Diego team that's up against it and not playing well and getting less than a field goal. So I like the Niners at home. I think they might actually. This seems like the kind of game where you could see the Niners winning 31-10 and being like, well, where was this team all year?
Right.
Now that they've sort of been freed, I think they might play well. So I have the Niners at 2.5, Miami at 6.5 for opposite 7-7 reasons. I thought that Chris might take Dallas at home, so I took Indy +3. But it's really just an effort to. I'm really interested in that game. I think that'll be a really interesting game. I have no clue. I sort of thought Dallas would fade. I thought Thanksgiving was a sign. It appears that it wasn't. I don't know how good Indy is. I can't quite tell. The defense is much better than it was earlier in the year. I'm interested in that game to see what kind of damage these teams might do.
Well, and no DeMarco Murray. Probably no DeMarco Murray.
It's 50-50, I think.
They're saying that they think he might, but even with a.
So I got Minnesota against Chris, and then the other two games I picked are just they're flat out against Chris. I have Seattle -8. I hope they just shut the Arizona defense down, but I would never bet Seattle -8 in Arizona after what I just said about the Cardinal defense. And it's not an elite offense in Seattle at all, so they could shut them down too. It wouldn't surprise me at all in Arizona to see Seattle held to 13 points, 16 points, and then So score 10. And
Right. 13-6.
Right,
Good
totally.
enough for me.
Good enough. I mean, I don't know what the 36.5 is the under in that game, and I wouldn't take the over. And then finally, I'm taking New Orleans. I figured you'd take Atlanta because that's what I would take. so hopefully the Saints will show up and they'll win the division in that game.
All right, cool. Good luck. May the best man win.
You know I'm going to win those 3 against, and I'm still not going to win. Like, that's going to get to me within a game.
I'm totally happy.
Thanks for watching. Good luck.